What's up, guys? Your boy has been slacking bad on videos. This will be spliced into some crap, but let me update you on what's going on. So, as you know, we had oiling issues just with pressure drop at lights out. No matter how much oil I ran, there was no witness tray or anything in this pan, and it would just run up the back of the block and starve the external pump pickup in the back of the pan. Don't judge my welding inside the pan. It looks like crap because I was having a really off day this morning, and also I don't weld all the time. Anyways, so first we modified this. At first I had it this length the whole way, and then my dumb self did not take into consideration for the steering rack because I was in a hurry. So I had to cut off what Jake's pretty welds looked, and this morning I put this piece back on. And then had to re-weld the inside. I put these tabs on the inside here because I made a windage tray. Not the most high-tech thing ever, but I actually stole these baffles out of the Holley setup there, which is designed definitely for a OEM style pickup. But that way, under acceleration, they open, and then of course when I pull the chute, it'll do that right there. So I'm hoping what this will do is keep us from dropping pressure during the pass. That was our issue at lights out. We're hitting the pressure safety because of that. So now all I gotta do is I'm gonna rivet this piece in, and then I can put it back on the car. All right, guys, so my oil pan is cooling down. Now you're like, Nigel, what do you mean it's cooling down? Didn't you have it ready to go in a minute ago? Well, your boy's stupid. Once again, I'm gonna start using your boy reference more. Maybe it'll get me some extra likes. But your boy, I mean, this is something I knew could happen. I just, part of rushing, the pan bowed up on me a bit. So I went to test fit it, and it was pretty far off. Ended up cutting it close to the previous weld. I used the grinder first and used a Sawzall to get it going. I usually use a grinder to start a big cut because it'll just, the Sawzall cuts it faster. It works better when you have a hole there. Anyways, I used the Sawzall, and then it looked like a Richter scale because I didn't have anybody to hold the pan while it danced around. But whatever, I got it cut. Then I bolted it to the block, the old block, and then when I did that, you had the gap was probably some spots over 1/8 of an inch. Well, not surprised, it's aluminum, it warps. So I just welded it back up, let it cool for a bit, took it off, welded it inside also. Anyways, let me show you, while that cools again, let me show you the next thing I gotta do. An issue I ran into, we've been running a air compressor for years. Leaving it on a little more boost, even though it wasn't much more dome pressure, and trying to ramp it in quicker, really seems to drain the compressor and it can't keep up. So what happens is then you can't reach your target boost level because your dome pressure is low. So I got a bottle here, thankfully found a regulator and a bracket on the shelf. So what I'm gonna do is mount this in the car and then remove the old trusty, as I call it, air compressor. I've actually replaced that air compressor one time before to put a new one in just to be safe, and the new one went bad, so I put the old one back in. It's like 8 years old now. But anyways, that's what I'm about to do now while that cools. All right, guys, a little bit of a glare there, but you see I got it mounted. For those curious, this setup right here weighs roughly 9 pounds, whereas the old air compressor here was 9 pounds and 14 ounces. So surprisingly, I lost a little bit of weight. Obviously, if you had a smaller bottle, you lose more too. I just want the capacity, and it's an easy spot there too. I get in the car, I can turn it on. I might even write myself a note because I haven't used one of these myself in years on anything but customer cars that I've tuned on the dyno. But yeah, so that part's done, and now I need to glue this oil pan back on. All right, guys, there we go. It's on there. It is 2:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted. Getting that centerpiece back in the cross member and the rack back on was quite the adventure, to say the least, but whatever, it's on. I'm letting this Honda Bond cure till sometime tomorrow, if not Monday, and I will give it a shot then. Obviously, I know it'll pick up oil at idle, mostly just checking for major leaks, and then as long as that's good, I'll move on to the next part. What's up, guys? Tuesday night. Can't stay super late tonight, but I'm gonna try to get a little something started. As you saw, I got the oil pan on. Came in not the next day. I was exhausted, so I didn't come in on Sunday. But got here like 6 o'clock Monday morning, and I cleaned up around the shop, before we opened, and I fired the car up. Ended up having a leak around one of the oil pan bolts on the rear, one of the skinny 10mm ones. Was pretty annoyed, but I was like, well, let's try this, because it was around the bolt. I could clearly see it was coming from around the bolt, and I thought I went heavy on the RTV there, but you know, this stuff can't be too easy. You know, there's always got to be a little bit of a struggle session, it feels like. So what I ended up doing was taking the bolt out, spraying brake cleaner up inside there, and then air, let it sit for a little bit, came back again because I wanted it to sit and just like drain any potential residual oil out. Sprayed brake cleaner and then air up in there again, and I had some Wright stuff that goes on a caulk gun, and I basically went really heavy with the Wright stuff up inside the hole there on the oil pan, and then I put the bolt in there, and I let it sit up like 10 more hours, cranked it up before I left the shop yesterday, and it was I think the leak's fixed. I let it run for twice as long and it didn't leak. You know, I revved it a good bit. The next thing will be to check it on the two-step, get some real heat in it, but I'm feeling good about it. That being said, let's talk about what's next tonight. What I've got here is a BTR camshaft, another one, obviously that's what's in there now. I made a slight revision to what I have. As you know, they work with Kenny Dangler also, and he set the hydraulic cam record, so it's awesome. Congrats to him. I don't really know Kenny, but he seems like a cool guy, and he makes a lot of funny posts, and that's how you should be. You should make funny posts and be a cool guy, I guess. But they want me to try this camshaft, which I'm cool with. Thankfully, it's not bad to do one with this car set up. So what I'm going to do is I won't get it done tonight. I'm just going to do some simple stuff to get it mostly apart, and then throughout the week I'll get it finished. As you can tell how this thing is set up, it's just really a matter of taking this charge pipe off. You know, there's a fuel line there. And then I'll take the oil pump belt off, take the lines off for the CO2 boost controller, and then take that stuff off. And I've got a good puller that works really well to get that balancer off. And then from there is just the timing mark indicator and then the front cover. So it's not terrible stuff to get apart. And then of course, you know, take the rockers loose and turn the cam over to get the lifters out of the board, so you can put the sticks in there to keep the lifters from falling. Obviously these can't fall through the oil pan because they're link bars, but they still don't need to be dropping. And then of course you can't get the camshaft out anyways if the lifters are in the way. But that's what I got to do, so let me get started. All right guys, I got the front cover off and cam gear and all that good stuff. I've got the rockers loose. Now I want to get the plate off, spin the cam over, and get the lifters up in the bore. What is up guys? So last I was talking to you guys, I was about to pull the camshaft out. Obviously on an LS, LT, when you do that, you can take the rock arms loose and flip the cam around and knock the lifters up in the bore, and use the 5/16 rods to hold lifters up. Well, this Noonan block does not accept that. So these typical guys that we use on an LS would not fit. So this is like Tuesday night when I did that. So this is Saturday morning now. Race got canceled this weekend because of the weather. So I took the chance to rest a little bit after hours, opposed to slaving away. I went and grabbed some 3/16 rods this morning. One is just some all thread, as you can tell, because they only had one 3/16 rod, and this is the same size. But what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and pull the push rods and rockers out, and I gotta make sure obviously I keep the push rods in order, because they are adjusted to different heights on this setup. And then I probably end up having to use a magnet as well to kind of pick the lifter up as I slide the rod in. I had the same issue on the 5.3 with the link bars. They can be a little more finicky. But let me go ahead and get this knocked out. So I got the front of the engine back together. Sorry I didn't record more, I got distracted. I'll show you why in a minute. Had to remove the valley cover because I could not get a bar into the holes that would actually hold lifters up. It just wasn't happening. So thankfully this block has a window, so I was able to manually lift the lifters up and shove a piece of filler rod in there, 1/8" filler rod to be exact, and it helped do what I had to do. So I got the cam out and all that was good. One little pickle I ran into, so I'm waiting to see how mad I get. This intake bolt broke. It's titanium, so I'm probably in for a treat. So I'm getting this other stuff done while I can. That way, if I waste the rest of the day on that, I won't be as mad, because I have gotten other stuff done at least. as you guys saw, it runs again. Didn't put the cam in wrong, so that's a solid start. No oil leaks either, which is also awesome. Now what I'm doing is putting this rebuild kit on these guys. Hopefully these fresh O-rings and buttons right here will keep them from leaking so much during the pass. All right, guys, so pretty good Saturday. You know, obviously it wasn't as easy as I hoped with the intake manifold bolt breaking off. Sammy came by and like I think I already mentioned, I can't remember, I'm brain dead, but you know, who got the bolt out. I started it and then he finished it because he brought his truck over to tune, and he kind of took over on the bolt department. I was like, well, I'll just do the tuning part, and it worked out good. After that, we put it all back together, and you know, everything is good. So I think that's about it. You know, today's Saturday, the 16th or 8th. Today's the 8th. You know, they're supposed to have nitrous nats today. It was canceled. That's why the car's not done already, because I was like, man, I have been killing myself between the shop and you know, the race in Georgia two weeks ago, and just getting ready for it. And you know, it's whatever. I'm not expecting sympathy. I don't do it for that reason, but it takes a toll on you for sure. But anyways, that's what we got. You know, we may be out next weekend. I don't know yet, but I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.